Well, speaking of people fighting for protection, let's go on to the grooming gang scandal because the Prime Minister has rejected demands for a national inquiry and denied that he is watering down plans for up to 5 local inquiries.
Well, speaking on Chopper's political podcast, Labour Rotherham Valley MP Jake Richards says that the Home Secretary must listen to calls to order a national inquiry into the rape gang scandal. If Baroness Casey's nationwide review of the scale of the problem says one is needed, have a listen.
We had the KCJ report back over a decade ago, which concluded that one of the reasons that wasn't dealt with strongly enough was because of fears of being racist. Now, that cannot happen again. And that was over a decade ago. So I have absolutely no problems with talking about those issues in those terms and anything to stop that happening again. As you said before, I've worked with victims of these awful offences. I know the devastating effect it has on them and their families.
Well, I'm very happy to say that we're joined now by a bit of a legend, actually. It's Marlon West, the father of grooming gang victim Scarlett West. Marlon, we've been speaking for many months about this crisis. What was your reaction to what you just heard from the MP for Rotherham Valley, Jake Richards, who says that they are not watering down these inquiries?
Good morning, Charlie. Obviously, the watering down the inquiries. I've been campaigning for 2 years for a national inquiry. They came up with the 5, which I was disappointed with, but also it was better than nothing. And now they've watered it down. Bradford should be the priority. You know, I've said this before. My daughter was trafficked all around the country, but Bradford always came up. That was the place that they always took her. And I speak to a lot more survivors and families across the country. Bradford always comes up. This is the capital of grooming.
Why do you think, Marlon, that from where I'm standing, they don't want a national inquiry?
I think, you know, you've already said this, and I do agree with you. I think it goes a lot deeper. I think there's a lot more professionals involved, and they don't want to open this up. A lot of these areas, including Bradford, are Labour-run councils, and that is definitely one of the issues.
And Marlon, you've seen our story this morning from Bradford, this report of a retired detective saying that he was threatened with arrest because his investigation into these abuse gangs could have threatened community cohesion. Do you think that a proper inquiry or a local inquiry into Bradford would throw up more examples of misbehaviour like that?
Yeah, and even where I live in Tameside, it would be exactly the same. But even in Tameside, we're not special. This is across the country, possibly more in the north, but this is across the country. So, you know, it didn't surprise me what he said. I've been in meetings with GMP in the past when Scarlett was 15, being told to shut up or I'd lose my job.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GBNews discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GBnews to start protecting yourself digitally today.
Yeah, and Marlon, your daughter Scarlett, she's also campaigning still for justice with your help, like thousands of survivors across the country. How does it feel working with her to try and get that justice? And these images we're playing on the screen now, some of the injuries she's endured. Talk us through Scarlett's story.
So Scarlett, when she was a young teenager, she was a good kid. She owned her own horse. She would spend weekends and evenings with a horse. And then when she got to about 14, she was groomed. Because of my profession, I quickly realised that she was being groomed. And I went to social services, meetings with the police. It's only recently, and I mean in the last few months, that they've even acknowledged that Scarlett was groomed. This was my battle. They just saw her as a naughty teenager who went missing. Even though I give them evidence of men collecting her from my house on CCTV. And again, this isn't special to Greater Manchester Police. This is across the country. They do not take intelligence from family, even though it is CCTV.
Marlon, what kind of impact has this had on you then? Because you've been working and campaigning to try and bring those who have been involved in this to justice or even to light. How has this affected you?
Dreadful, if I'm honest. What people don't realise, obviously, Scarlett is the priority. Scarlett's the one who's been raped and tortured. However, what the general public don't realise is the impact it has on the family. It leaves you so isolated because you actually fall out with your family over it because they're telling you to do more and maybe be violent. And obviously you can't do that. Relationships, you can't have relationships. It's left me absolutely isolated.
Marlon, you're still fighting for justice, and there's another father that we've spoken to. We call him Jack, it's not his real name, who was arrested by South Yorkshire police when he was trying to rescue his daughter from an abuse den. Voices like yours, the voices of fathers, all too often they are missing from this debate, and people need to recognise this isn't just about the children who are being tortured horrendously, it's about the whole country affected by this, communities ruptured by this horrendous abuse.
I'm more angry with professionals. I'm angry with the police. I'm angry with social services. They should have been the ones there protecting her and stopping it straight away. And they didn't. Another example, one of the police officers from Greater Manchester Police sat with my daughter, with the groomer, and texted me to tell me she was fine. She was with this particular person. She was 14-year-old. She'd gone missing for 2 weeks. And he left her with the groomer.
See, because that's the thing. A lot of people say, well, where are the parents in all this? How could they... this must be very difficult. You must have felt so powerless. It's almost like when someone has an eating disorder, to try and get them to eat, you can't.
I've been massively criticised for being a bad father. Yeah. And now I can reflect, I couldn't do any more. I couldn't physically, mentally do any more on what I could do. I was driving around at 4 o'clock in the morning and have to go to work as well, looking for her, banging on doors. I couldn't do any more than what I did.
Marlon, you're an exceptionally brave man. It's always an honour to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We have had a statement from Greater Manchester Police that we've heard previously, we can say now. They said they've always wholeheartedly apologised to all victims of child sexual exploitation who are badly let down for the hurt and ongoing trauma caused by what happened. We have accepted that our actions fell far short of the service and they had every right to expect from us. GMP have previously told GB News that child protection is the priority of the force today, and their approach to protecting victims and pursuing perpetrators is significantly improved from 2 decades ago.